There we are. It should be said, if I don't main Nash, I'm probably gonna end up sub-maining. What the hell is a sub-main? You know, Cammy. Is he dead? Bam. Done. Neoza, that is correct. If people are shimmying, they are walking, so any crouching low attack will beat that straight up and score you a hit. It's a good reason to wake up with a crouching hard kick, or to wake up with a crouching medium kick. There we are. Oh, good punish. Good. Good combo. Good punish. Yep. Ooh, okay. That's difficult to see. I did wake up with a crouch fierce though. Jump away jab! My old mash reaction. Unrivaled, you're in shock? What are you in shock about? Yeah, Neoza, it doesn't hit low anymore. Ah, where's my other jab at? Good, Unrivaled. I'm glad you're seeing it. Now that you're seeing it, you can actually improve. Good. There we go. K. Jebka, good eye. Okay. Well, Thunderwave, that's not technically a frame trap. It has frame disadvantage, and basically, because it has disadvantage, even if Cammy does her fastest move, like a jab, it'll lose no matter if the opponent does anything moderately fast, because the opponent can act before you. And so what you can do is you can do a cannon spike, which is invincible during its first few frames, to just go through whatever they try. But if they block, then you could get fully punished. Anyway, AODsnarf, are you here? Hop in. Kama, it's unlikely I'm gonna get to you tonight. Yaush, unfortunately I'm probably not gonna get to you tonight either. I'll add you to the list just in case. But right now there's 4 people in line ahead of you two. Okay. So, AOD, I think that your neutral is pretty good. Pretty good in the sense that you know how to play safely, and you knew which pokes you wanted to land. But as with so many intermediate players, your biggest issue was you did not go for too many counter pokes, or let's not even get into that. You didn't land many counter pokes. AOD, this might just be like a side effect of me playing Cammy, but in particular with this matchup, I'm going to be standing here a lot trying to counterpoke your stuff. AOD, were you watching when I gave advice to Unrivaled? Yes, sir. Well, AOD, unfortunately, I don't have much new to say other than all that stuff I told him. Now, something to consider in the Cammy mirror match is the fact that, you know, because we can both walk so fast, it's a bit more dangerous. The spacing that we're going to try to fight each other is going to be different because we're both moving around so much. Also, jumping is something that you might have been able to stand to do a little bit more. AOD, against me, I actually blocked a few of your cannon strikes, and I blocked a couple of your jump-ins. But there was one time in particular that stood out when you did like a jumping hard kick, and then you just sort of backed off. You didn't go for any sort of mix-up or anything off of that. And that is alright if you're anticipating a DP. So unless you tell me right now that you were anticipating a DP in that moment, then I would say that you probably need to think about going for a few more mix-ups. AOD, if you watch over that footage, you did not win neutral too often, and that's fine. Obviously, your counterpoke game is what needs work because you were scared of my counterpoke game. But you got a couple of jump-ins blocked. You got a couple of cannon strikes blocked, and you did not try to aggress with them even when you did not have the life lead. Try to be more aware of the life and meter situations, because those are what you're going to need to pay attention to if you want to make the right comeback, or if you're not even aware you need to make a comeback. You know, that could be a factor later on in more of your matches. But again, I blocked a couple of jump-ins. You didn't do too much off them. I was whiffing a bunch of fierces, and you didn't really challenge them. AODsnarf, another little cliff note from the match is I like to throw out Spiral Arrow as a poke. Because when we're here, we know that our normals are at range, right? But when I'm over here, you're like, oh, he doesn't have any pokes. Well, I do. It's terribly unsafe, but I do. You know? And ultimately, that's one of the ways that I like to play Cammy, is get them scared about my normals, and then back up out of range, and they're like, oh, I'm not scared anymore. And I'm like, you should be. Here comes the Spiral Arrow. You'd be surprised how often that works. Now this would not work against a player like Unrivaled who likes to crouch block all day, so against them you gotta walk more. But if you think about it, AOD, because I was walking around so much and pressing buttons so much, Spiral Arrow can be thought of as a general counter to that strategy. Okay? If I'm always doing this, then half the time I'll get hit by Spiral Arrow. If I'm always pressing buttons and moving forward, then probably 100% of the time I'll get hit by Spiral Arrow. You see how I'm arriving at those percentages though? It's like, if you look at my movement, how much of it is forwards walk, how much of it is backwards walk. You can hit me with Spiral Arrow, now you can't. Spiral Arrow, now you can't. Spiral now. Spiral blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? That's another way for you to think of the neutral as Cammy. Other than worrying about crouching medium kick and stand medium kick, think, I could catch any of their forward walks with a Spiral Arrow. And this is sort of the introduction to how to play Balrog in Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 4, but that's, you know, something for another day. That's what his dash straight accomplishes. I'm going to wait for him to walk forward, dash straight now, whoosh, and then they walk right into it. But AOD, obviously I cannot expect you to be as good, you know, as me in the neutral yet. But in a nutshell, what you needed to do in that matchup to beat me was jump a few more times, because I'm whiffing fierces. You could have jumped at any of those. Jump a few more times, anti-air my jumps. I did get a couple of jump-ins that you did not anti-air. And go for more risk in the neutral. Ultimately, you know, you could have thrown out some more Spiral Arrows, could have walked forward a few more times, could have attempted a couple more crouching hard kicks in the neutral, a couple more crouch fierces. I mean, obviously, it gives you the combo to super, but it's a good poke in and of itself. Even if you don't have super, it still reaches really far. Like with crouching fierce, you can counter poke something from way out here, you know? So that's pretty much it. You didn't get in too much, so I don't have much comment on your close range game. Right now I'll just leave that field blank and just put a NA in that field. You didn't win neutral very much at all, so we didn't get much of a chance to look at your close range game. But if your neutral improves with the suggestions that I gave you, then you're going to want to, you know, think more about the throw frame trap games and such. And AOD, it's very easy to beat a shimmy. All you have to do is match a crouching kick. But this means you have to anticipate it's coming, you know? Because here's like a shimmy, right? Here's a shimmy. You know, well, they'll walk forward to bait the throw, and then they'll walk backwards. Well, hit a crouching hard kick at a block stun. I mean, that's really risky and kind of silly and kind of dangerous, but that's the counter. That's what it is. So do it. Once in a blue moon, at least. Crouch medium kick Spiral Arrow, or just do a crouch light kick and then jump away. Obviously, that can be frame trapped. Obviously, if they go for the neutral jump mix-up, depending on the normal you press, you might get stuffed, or you might be able to block in time. But this is where the risk of the game is. You can defeat a shimmy by pressing buttons, but you're not going to beat a frame trap by pressing buttons. You see what I'm saying? And this is where the real rock, paper, scissors is. It's, should I hit a button to beat their shimmy or their late pressure? Or should I press nothing because I think a frame trap is coming? You know, when is that frame trap coming? Early or late? Could I try to maybe press one button to defend against one thing while also defending against something late? Blah, 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 etc. That's Street Fighter in a nutshell.